Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa and we need to do our closeout for the month of February 2024. So if you're interested in seeing this, I'm going to give you my Google Sheets closeout and I'm also going to show you my Ynab budget closeout. So please stay tuned. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, my name is Melissa. If you are new to the channel, welcome. It's nice to have you. I hope that you stick around a while, follow along with my journey because I am on a debt-free journey. I am looking to be debt-free in the near future. And in order to get there, I need to change my money mindset, which I already have. And it's going to change my relationship with money, which it already started to. So, if you are not new, welcome back. You guys know the deal. I appreciate you guys for coming back. Thank you so much for being here. You didn't have to, but you're taking the time to watch. All right. So, the second pay period of February started on the 16th of the month. And let's go through the transactions. I paid a babysitter for $220. And another thing, if you are new here, I do track everything here on my Google Sheet spreadsheet. I created this myself. Everything populates in each section on my budget. On the 16th, I got my SSI benefits for $1,342. And I do also check this. I highlight everything that's income into my budget in this yellow color. So my paycheck came in for $2,673.16. That's clear. Hubby transferred in $800. That's clear. So I made a credit card payment on the 17th to my Capital One number one card. And this was to cover my minimum payment. It was $461.82. Next up is BCC or BCCC. This is the after school program for my son. I write them checks and they do take a while to deposit the checks. So this is a total of 3 checks and it's a total of $60. So next up is the second half of my T-Mobile bill, and this bill was coming over from January. I had set up a payment arrangement for 2 equal payments of $140.43. So this is the second one and that is cleared. Then I transferred some money over to my sinking funds. I sent $5 to my vacation fund, $5 to my All Things Kids fund, and $21 to the emergency fund. All cleared. On the 17th, Abigail, which is a miscellaneous expense in my budget, for $350. I already mentioned that I am not willing to share what this is, but just know this is a miscellaneous expense that pop up every once in a while. On the 17th, I paid a loan payment to my auto loan for $939.23. That's cleared. Then I made another loan payment to One Main for $300, and I made a little note over here that $46.02 was an extra payment because this is the debt that I'm focusing on. On the 17th, I also made my third loan payment to Lending Club for $1,059.22. I went to Speedway for gas on the 19th for $24.98. And this is me trying to stop it before it goes over the dollar limit because I really want it to be under than over. Silly, I know, but when you're on a budget, you're on a budget. On the 19th, my iCloud storage came out for $2.99. On the 19th, I went to the bagel shop for breakfast. I was working the morning shift for $5. On the 20th, and I made a short about this, you guys. On the 20th, I got some miscellaneous income for $31.75. I recycled my glass, my cans, and my bottles, my plastic bottles, and I received $31.75. That is crazy. I just put it right to my grocery category. On the 20th, I went back to Speedway for fuel for $39.97, and here I go again, trying to stay under the rounded dollar limit. Then I went into Speedway Mark. I got a snack for my little one for $3.25. I also went to ShopRite for groceries for $196.60. On the 20th, I got some household goods. This is the same purchase, but I do divvy it out for $2.29. And then I did buy some pull-ups for my little one for $9.49. Then I went to Taco Bell on that day, and I got some food that was utterly disgusting. So I wasted $11.07. Never again. Then I had a primary care visit for $25 for my copay, and that was also on the 20th. On the 21st, I sent over my child support for my older daughter for $263. I made a credit card payment on the 21st to my Apple Card. This is the minimum payment of $25. And to my Capital One number 2 card, which is also the minimum payment of $25. So then I got a refund for $309.84. This is a check that I received in the mail. I had overpaid for something. I am going back to therapy again. My copay is $60, so I went to therapy on the 21st. On the 22nd, I did get an allowance from my job. This is a clothing and cleaning allowance for $869.18. Then I went to King Cullen for some groceries. King Cullen is the closest grocery store to me, but it's very expensive. I spent $39.53, and you guys, you should see what I spent $39 on. It's crazy. Then I went to another doctor of mine, and there was a copay that was waiting for me for $50. This was for prior blood work, and that's what I was mentioning in my sinking funds video. If you haven't seen that, I will link that in the cards or in the description. I need a little bit of a medical fund because sometimes the doctors don't take the copays at the visit, they bill me. So $25 of this was for that visit and $50 was for a balance that was there. So that's a total of $75. On the 23rd, I paid the babysitter for the next week, which is $220. Then I needed to get fuel heating oil again for $4.23.22. Okay, so on the 24th, I paid my Netflix subscription for $24.97. That's clear. Then I paid the T-Mobile bill, which is my cell phone, for the month of February. So I'm not making the mistake again for holding off till, or making payment arrangements, because this kind of messed me up. So $306.92 is the bill. And usually my bill is less than this because I am on AutoPay, and AutoPay gives me a $30 discount. So I'm not going to make that mistake again, but that is cleared. Then I paid my Optimum internet bill for $123. On the 27th, SiriusXM subscription came out for $727. Then I did some transfers to my sinking funds, $550. Nope, I wish. $55 for personal care, $14 for my yearly memberships, $14.17 for household fund, and that was just to round it out to an even number. $5 for the medical fund, here we go, and $23.22 for the car insurance fund. On the 27th, I went back to ShopRite for a little bit of groceries, $52.10. I went to Walmart and got some other stuff. I did $9.11 in groceries because I did see some products in there that was cheaper than ShopRite, so I got it there. Then I bought some personal items at Walmart for $3.74. And I went to the beauty supply. I needed to get some hair products for $20.61. I got some household goods at at Home Depot for $26. So I get some cleaning supplies there that I wasn't able to get at ShopRite. Then I went back to therapy the next week for a $60 copay. I had breakfast again on the 29th at the bagel shop for $9. And then this Amazon Prime, it's not really Amazon Prime. It's a Prime Video, but because it's through Amazon Prime, I'm going to put $10. and one of the kids made a mistake and ordered this. And then I received some miscellaneous interest from my accounts for $5.18. And that's it for the month of February. That's all the transactions for the second pay period. I'm going to pull up my Ynab and I'm going to do a split screen to show you the numbers in Google Sheets and also in Ynab. This is February, so do remember that Ynab does not take into consideration the rollover money. So I did roll over $2,101.25 from the month of January to begin the month of February. As you can see here, my total income is $12,510 in Google Sheets, but it is only $9,540.80 in the month of February in Ynab. So let's talk about it. $31.38 was credit redemption on my credit cards. So here, hubby sent over $16, and it's the same thing in Google Sheets. My paychecks is $6,218.25, and this is not taking into consideration my SSI benefits. So in Google Sheets, I lump it together, and in Ynab, I do not. So here we go. Here is the SSI benefits for $1,342 even. I did have to send some money over from my savings for $902.01. You won't see this in Ynab here at all. So that's another thing as to why you won't see this. But I did go through, and just let me grab my papers. I did go through and I made note of what it was that wasn't coinciding with Ynab when it came down to the income. So just bear with me. Okay, somehow I lost my sticky notes. So $309.84 is the refund that I get, and in Google Sheets it's combining $309.84 with $31.75 to give you $346.77. A reconciliation balance. Somehow I put this in here because my balance in my accounts wasn't equaling the balance in my Ynab. So when I reconciled, it gave me this credit of $2.40. Here's the interest for $5.18. I spoke about that on my transaction log. So let's see. I'm going to tell you what the difference is between 12,000. So let me do the math on my calculator. So 12,510 and 28 cents, and I'm gonna subtract the 95.40 and 80 cents. That's a total of $2,969.48. Now let's take away my $2,101.25 that I rolled over from February, and that's gonna leave me with $868.23. So I'm going to consider that what I rolled over from my savings, okay? So Ynab is not going to show you the savings section, but do know that it was a total of $157.39 that I sent over to my savings. So let's move down to the monthly bills and expenses. So here we go. $2,500 for my rent, that's what I spent. $101.77 for electric, those two are the same. $123 for my internet, that's the same. $587.78 I spent on my cell phone. $107.67 for subscriptions, and it's the same here. Heating oil was a whopping $853.62, and that's what I spent here also. So the total bills and expenses, both in Ynab and Google Sheets, is $4,273.84. All right. So let's move down to the variable section on both. I was over budget for groceries for, I spent $1,070.06. I spent $203.23 in household goods. I spent $135 on copay and meds. Personal spending was $53.96 in there on different lines. $86.45 was spent eating out. So my personal spending was over budget and my eating out was under budget. Unexpected spending, $833.60. Okay, for a total in the variable section of $2,382.30. So let's backtrack a little bit. So I had budgeted $3,125 for my total bills and expenses, but I came in over budget because of heating oil for $4,273.84. I was over by $1,148.84. Now in the variable section, I had budgeted $1,400 and I spent $2,382.30, and that's over by $982.30. All right, so let's move down to the transportation section. I spent $939.23 for my auto loan, $265.50 for my car insurance, and $189.98 for gas. So gas was the only thing that was over budget here. I came in under budget for my insurance. So I spent $1,394.71, same here. And that is $39.48 over budget. So Ynab moves on to the loan section. So let's go down to the loan section here. $40 for my student loan, $600 for one main, and $1,059.22 for my lending club, which is on budget for $1,699.22. So next up is interest and fees. I don't put interest and fees over into my Google Sheets anymore. I've taken that out. So let's go to the kids section. Here in Ynab, I spent $60 on after school, which is the same thing in Google Sheets. $880 for the babysitter, same thing here. $164 for braces, came in on budget. $526 for child support, came in on budget. $1705 for supplies. It was only supplies this month, and that's over budget because I had nothing budgeted. Fund money for $25 and haircuts for $35. So this is the same thing here for $1,707.05. And I am under budget, you guys, in the kids section by $12.95. So that is where Ynab ends. But I really want to show you guys what my credit card expenses were. I sent over $269.76 to my Discover card. I sent $67 to Mattress Firm, $461.82 to Capital One number 1, $25 to Capital One number 2, and $26.56 to my Apple Card. All right, so that's a total of $850.14. Let's go down. We're going to talk about the total expenses. In Ynab, it's showing $11,979.27. But in Google Sheets, it's $12,464.65. So let me tell you what the difference is. $464.65. That's going to subtract the $11,979.27, and that's a total of $485. That's the difference. So like I said, you guys, Ynab takes into consideration credit card interest, but it doesn't take into consideration credit card payments. Really, it doesn't show you that in your closeout, because Ynab's aim is to get you out of credit card debt, or not to be using your credit cards like that. Let's talk about total income in Google Sheets is $12,510.28. I spent for $12,464.65, and I had a leftover in the positive $45.63, and that, you guys, was just, let me tell you, I rolled over $40.14. So there is $5.49 that I don't know where that came from. I haven't figured it out yet. I've been trying, but I'll take it. I'm not going to sweat over $5.49. So I was in the positive. Ynab have me a net income in the negative of $2,438.47. But like I said, it doesn't take into consideration money that I moved around within the budget. So that is it, you guys. I'm gonna stick with Ynab for now. I had come up with 3 goals in the month of February, so let's go through and talk about those. Okay, so my three goals for the month of February was to stick to my grocery budget. Um, I'm gonna mark that as a fail because I actually went over budget by $70. It really isn't $70 because I had that additional $37 that I put in, but it was still over budget. So the second goal for myself was to follow Ynab's four rules, and I think I did that well in this budget. So I'm gonna mark that with a check mark and stick to my eating out budget, and I can say that I did. So this is also a win. So I got 2 out of 3 of my goals for the month of February, and I'm pretty pleased with that. With the grocery budget also because I only spent, let's see, I spent $70 over budget, but I put $37 in there. So technically I'm only over by $33. I'll take it. So you guys, this is what it is for the month of February. I can say that I did well, and all the transactions that I charged to my credit card, because I used the credit card to pay my internet, I used it to pay my cell phone, and I do have some subscriptions that come on to my card, and I was able to cover everything. So I have no credit card debt floating over into the month of March. And you guys should know that from my debt update video. So if you haven't seen that either, I'm going to link that in the cards for you guys to take a look. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.